one of the most peculiar and perilous incidents to ever surface in an Arab nation. This tale unfolds with a crime perpetrated through the shadowy realms of the dark web. Enter Tariq, the central figure of our narrative in Egypt, the individual who engaged the services of a 15-year-old residing in Kuwait. Brace yourself for one of the most harrowing sagas to emerge from the annals of the Arab world. April 15, 2024. A date etched with the vanishing of Ahmed Muhammad Saad, a 15-year-old hailing from Esbet Othman in the Shubra al-Khaimah area. He coexists amidst his kin and neighbors within the vicinity, where the dynamics of communal bonds transcend mere familial ties, financial standings, and daily routines. In such locales, inhabitants adhere to a distinct code of conduct and interaction. Yet Tariq adeptly navigated these intricacies with finesse, knowing all too well how to navigate the intricacies of this environment. Immerse yourself in their midst and dwell among their ranks. But first, let's unravel the enigma that is Tariq, a young man teetering on the brink of his 30s. His origins remain shrouded in obscurity, a puzzle with missing pieces. No breadcrumbs lead back to his ancestral home, nor do whispers divulge the whereabouts of his kin. Roughly 4 years ago, he materialized in the enclave of Esbet Othman in Shubra al-Khaimah. A man veiled in financial hardship, yet adept at enlisting the aid of those around him. He spun a tale of battling cancer, administering his own treatments. Yet amidst his personal struggles, he remained a devout soul, weaving seamlessly into the fabric of community life. His piety served as his passport, granting him entry into the hearts of the locals, despite his ailing attempts at concealment. Despite his background as an electrician, his health woes steered him towards a humbler vocation as a coffeehouse attendant. Yet, paradoxically, this shift only deepened his ties with the locals, forging particularly robust bonds with the younger denizens of the neighborhood. He'd often be found in their midst, regaling them with tales of faith and dispensing sage counsel on righteous living. It was this affinity that endeared him to many children in the vicinity, among them Ahmed Muhammad Saad, a 15-year-old who held Tariq in high esteem. Tariq, with his ailment and tenacity, embodied resilience, a figure whom Ahmed regarded as his beacon. Yet, Tariq's affection for him ran deep. He'd offer counsel, unwavering support, and tireless aid whenever Ahmed encountered hurdles. No qualms hindered Tariq from engaging in lengthy conversations with those in distress, attentively hearing out their grievances and offering solutions. The proprietor of the cafe, where Tariq toiled, began to observe a change in him. Tariq's frequent absences without prior notice became conspicuous. When questioned by the cafe owner, Tariq attributed his disappearance to undergoing cancer treatment sessions, a necessity beyond his control. Understandably, the cafe owner remained taciturn. Tariq's adeptness at ingratiating himself within the community was evident. Upon Tariq's return, he resumed his presence for a continuous week, seamlessly slipping back into his routine at the cafe. However, Tariq vanished again, only to reappear 2 weeks later in a wholly transformed guise. His lifestyle underwent a remarkable metamorphosis. He acquired a car, upgraded his mobile device, and completely revamped his attire. Inquiries directed at the cafe owner about the rationale behind Tariq's transformation were met with puzzlement. When questioned by both the cafe owner and the family about Tariq's sudden transformation, he claimed that his affluent brother had passed away. Tariq inherited a substantial fortune, catapulting him from a cafe worker to a patron. He would frequent the cafe, generously footing the bill for drinks and distributing money to those who had initially supported him upon his arrival in the neighborhood. His bond with Ahmed, however, remained stronger than ever. Tariq, sensing Ahmed's vulnerability, took it upon himself to guide and protect him. He provided Ahmed with occasional funds for PlayStation gaming, closely monitoring his activities to steer him away from potential pitfalls. Ahmed, in turn, confided in his family about Tariq's benevolent gestures, expressing their mutual concern for his well-being. They continually admonished Ahmed to prioritize his studies and to steer clear of negative influences. Exactly 4 months had elapsed since Tariq's arrival in the neighborhood. The date was April 15, 2024. Ahmed went about his day as usual, unaware of the ominous events about to unfold, scouring the area alongside Ahmed's family and concerned neighbors. They meticulously reviewed surveillance footage, hoping for clues about Ahmed's whereabouts. On the cameras, they observed Ahmed entering and exiting the PlayStation store multiple times before eventually being seen walking alongside Tariq. However, after that sighting, both Ahmed and Tariq vanished without a trace. When questioned again, Tariq claimed ignorance, stating that he had merely conversed with Ahmed briefly and had no knowledge of his subsequent disappearance. Frustrated and worried, Ahmed's family turned to the authorities to file a missing person report. Despite their efforts and the lack of any evidence of foul play, the police treated Ahmed's disappearance as a routine matter, adhering to standard protocol. Time had to elapse before additional measures could be taken, and after 2 days, authorities began to delve deeper into the case. The surveillance footage revealed Ahmed's usual activities in the area, but it also captured Tariq entering a pharmacy shortly before Ahmed's disappearance. When authorities investigated, they discovered that Tariq had purchased a narcotic substance, bandages, and a knife. This raised suspicion, especially considering Ahmed's cancer diagnosis and the possibility of him needing medical supplies. However, a week after Ahmed went missing, a foul odour emanated from Tariq's rented apartment, prompting authorities to contact him repeatedly. Tensions were high since Ahmed's disappearance, and the discovery of the unpleasant smell only intensified their concerns. Further forensic analysis unveils gruesome details, painting a chilling portrait of the true extent of Tariq's depravity. As the investigation progresses, shocking revelations emerge, sending shockwaves throughout the country. It becomes apparent that Tariq's heinous acts extend beyond mere organ trafficking. Forensic experts uncover evidence suggesting ritualistic practices and occult involvement, plunging the case into even darker depths. Symbols and markings carved into the victim's flesh hint at sinister rituals, leading investigators down a twisted path of occultism and dark web. The horrific details outlined in the forensic report paint a chilling picture of the extent of Tariq's depravity. The mutilation of Ahmed's body goes beyond any semblance of medical procedure, indicating a sinister and calculated act of violence. According to the forensic findings and statements from the public prosecution, Ahmed's body bore signs of torture and ritualistic mutilation. His eyes were gouged out, and all of his internal organs, including the heart, liver, and kidneys, were systematically removed and placed in a bag beside the corpse. The body itself was grotesquely opened from the side in a longitudinal manner, revealing a level of brutality that defies comprehension. Of particular note is the inexplicable incision in the neck area, a cut so precise and inhuman that it defies conventional explanation. Tariq's confession to the authorities adds another layer of horror to the already gruesome crime. He claimed that he committed these acts as part of a macabre scheme involving the trafficking of human organs. According to Tariq's confession, he was lured into the scheme by an individual residing in Kuwait, whom he met through social networks. This person promised Tariq a substantial sum of money, £5 million, in exchange for his participation in a ghastly enterprise. Tariq's role was to lure unsuspecting victims, carry out their murders, and extract their organs for sale on the black market. In Ahmed's case, Tariq followed the instructions provided by his Kuwaiti contact, luring the young boy to his house under false pretenses before carrying out the heinous crime. However, upon completing the gruesome task, Tariq received the chilling message that the harvested organs were deemed unfit for sale. He was instructed to find another victim and repeat the process, with the promise of receiving the agreed-upon sum once again. This revelation sends shockwaves through law enforcement agencies, underscoring the insidious nature of the criminal network Tariq had become entangled in. It highlights the harrowing reality of organ trafficking, a clandestine trade that preys on the most vulnerable members of society for the sake of profit. As authorities delve deeper into the case, they are faced with the daunting task of dismantling this dark network and bringing its perpetrators to justice. The pursuit of truth and accountability becomes a solemn obligation, as the memory of Ahmed and all the victims of this horrific trade demand nothing less than swift and decisive action. In reality, Tariq's monstrous actions didn't end with Ahmed. After locking the apartment with Ahmed's lifeless body lying on the bed, he proceeded with chilling intent to seek out another victim. Thankfully, law enforcement intervened before he could carry out this heinous act, but the question remains: who else is involved in this sinister trade? The individual in Kuwait looms ominously in the background, orchestrating these macabre operations from afar. Why did he choose Tariq for this gruesome task? And what drives him to trade in human organs? Tariq's introduction to this dark underworld came through social media networks, where he was offered lucrative sums to collaborate in this nefarious trade. However, the condition imposed upon him was chillingly specific. The Kuwaiti contact demanded to oversee every step of Tariq's operations. Remarkably, Tariq had not concealed his activities while working at the coffee shop. He performed minor procedures, albeit on animals, as a guise for his true intentions. This modus operandi is a common tactic employed on the dark web, where illicit activities thrive under the guise of anonymity. As Tariq became further entwined with his Kuwaiti contact, the flow of money intensified, tempting him back into the fold. This time, however, his financial situation underwent a dramatic transformation. No longer content with meagre earnings, Tariq opted for the big operation, exchanging Ahmed's life for a staggering sum of £5 million. Law enforcement officials, in their interrogation of Tariq, gleaned vital information regarding his Kuwaiti counterpart. They uncovered the shocking truth. The mastermind behind this depravity is none other than an Egyptian student, a mere 15 years of age. Efforts are underway to collaborate with the Department of International Cooperation and Interpol to bring the Kuwaiti perpetrator and his father to justice. Upon investigation, it becomes evident that the father's involvement extends beyond mere communication with Tariq. His personal phone and number were used extensively in their dealings, leading to his arrest. However, the shocking revelation emerges that the dark web activities in question have no connection to the organ trade. Instead, they uncover a grim reality. The Kuwaiti individual is involved in a nefarious scheme reminiscent of the notorious Peter Scully. This underworld figure orchestrated a despicable operation involving the luring of victims into rooms dubbed Red Rooms, where they were subjected to unimaginable horrors, all for the perverse entertainment of dark web viewers. The sale of such videos commands exorbitant prices, attracting individuals willing to pay hefty sums to witness the suffering and demise of others. Remarkably, the individual in Kuwait adopts a similar modus operandi to Scully's, albeit within the Arab world. He capitalizes on Tariq's vulnerability, initially proposing the idea of organ trafficking. It's a chilling realization that Tariq, in his desperation for money, acquiesced to these abhorrent activities along the way. Unfathomably, Tariq harbored no qualms about ending a human life and carving out organs for profit. His depravity manifested in the systematic documentation of Ahmed's innocence, sending snapshots to his Kuwaiti accomplice. Once the green light flashed, Tariq wasted no time in executing the grisly deed. While investigations ensue and the Kuwaiti contact faces interrogation post-deportation to Egypt, shocking revelations unfold. This wasn't the first macabre dance for either party. They've orchestrated similar horrors across borders. Among Tariq's chilling admissions was his active participation in Ahmed's demise, meticulously tracking the grim sequence from death to dismemberment. Such horrors aren't isolated incidents. The internet we casually navigate barely scratches the surface of the vast digital expanse. Beyond lies the deep web, safeguarding sensitive data for governmental and financial entities. Yet, it's the abyssal dark web that hosts a clandestine marketplace for arms, human organs, and grotesque torture videos. A harrowing reality mirrored in Ahmed's tragic tale. The investigations and collection of evidence in this case are still working, and the security men are certainly collecting all the information about this strange and sick person who let Tariq carry out his execution. A crime like this, and God willing, after the investigations are over, they will be given the just sentence they deserve. Peace, don't forget your life.